All right, guys, Shotty T here with an Alliance War video. This is the fourth war of the season. We're pumping out these videos. They had already been recorded, just haven't had the time to actually piece them together and edit and commentate over them. And I know it takes time to get it posted on YouTube, but we're going to go ahead and knock these out before the next. I think we're in real time. We're coming up on the 7th war of the season. Or it actually might be the 9th war, or the 10th war, I believe. But either way, this is the 4th war of the season. We'll put it this way: as of today, it is January the 13th, 2021. So however many wars we got left after that date, placement starts today. But we got Stubborn. As you can see here, I have Venom, Torch, and Havoc as my attackers. All of them, of course, have purpose. And I'm just highlighting the fights that I'm gonna fight on paper. The Mojo fight is questionable at this moment, and the Domino fight is also questionable. I believe someone else takes those ultimately. And that's the Suicide roster that I was able to locate. I think it was one, I think it might have been one other profile as well. I think that was it. I think I'm just basically scanning the whole defensive layout. It's not too difficult. We've seen much more difficult, and you'll see some in the upcoming videos. But we're gonna go ahead and jump in. We need a little bit more energy to refill. So we end up going back in officially. And there we go. So first fight, we gotta have Darkhawk. Could have used Torch for this fight, but I decided to go with Venom because he's a stubborn attacker, just to take that aspect out of the fight. And the idea here is to just chip him down. We're not gonna knock him down yet, because if we knock him down, he's gonna have that armor or the auto block. So the idea is to knock him down right before I get to my SP3 and then launch the SP3. So that way I'll have that passive fury. So now we're just getting the computer to throw a special. All right, so we're just gonna parry, double light, medium light, short combo basically, just in case I miss. And I'm not sure why I got parried there, because I didn't have his armor active, so that was just kind of random there. I can't think of why he parried me right there. So there we go, we knock him down and get that passive fury active. So this SP3 is gonna hit harder than it would have been if I just launched it without it. Just to guarantee I kill him. Keep the fight simple. Other than that parry, that was a pretty textbook fight. All right, we got another one of my teammates took down Morningstar, since none of mine are bleed immune. So we got Korg here. He's unawakened, so I'm not sure why unawakened Korg was placed. I really could have taken him with any of my champs, but I decided to just go with the standard counter with Havoc. And I decided to put a little boost, not necessarily for this fight, but because of the upcoming fights, and I have enough energy to go ahead and go through these other fights. I'm just going ahead and boost now. And I believe I use a power boost. Again, it's not needed for this particular fight. It's really for the next fight ahead. But again, it's a 50-minute timer, so I might as well use it now. It'll be an emergency use for this fight if needed. But this unawakened Korg, you don't have to worry about him shrugging off your debuffs. So you can just freely hit the rock stacks. And if Havoc, Havoc is a natural Korg counter, but if it was any other opponent I had, I also would have been able to hit him without any thorn damage because he's unawakened. So at this stage, I'm already starting the prowess build up, so that way I can go ahead and just knock him down. When I get to my SP3, I can just kill him right then and there. Give him some feedback damage there. Got 4 prowess, 1 more, get to that max 5. All right, and probably could just throw the SP3 right here and there by the side to entertain him a little bit more. And I want to say I threw this SP3 when he had 1 rock stack active, so no, I threw it when he got rid of it. I thought I threw it when the rock stacks were still active. And you see it brought me up to 2 bars of power. I said, why not? Just kill him. All right, so this is why I brought the boost fight for Nick Fury. So this is Mixmaster, so usually when I face a Nick Fury on this node, I'm using Havoc or Sorcerer. Couldn't really afford to bring Sorcerer this, or I guess I could have brought her potentially. But it does make the fight a little bit more hectic. If you guys saw some of my other war videos, this is a very hectic fight with Sorcerer because of the tactical charge. Really, they're guaranteed to build up on every hit, but if it's a mutant, you can control it a little bit more, so you don't really have to worry about the unblockable unless he just throws a lot of SP1s. I do end up taking a lot of chip damage this fight as a result of him throwing those SP1s. I'm usually pretty good about keeping him from throwing it, and just use that power focus 1 against him, and just having him just pretty much stand within 1 to 2 bars of power. I need to get some more hits in because those prowess charges are building up. But as long as he's not throwing the special, it's not an issue. And now we're just gonna get rid of that there. And we're just gonna kill his first life simply just by using the feedback. And then once he gets to his second life, that's when I'm gonna throw my special with the 5 prowess charges, so that way I can maximize the power gain on the back end. So right now I'm just doing the coward technique just to buy some time until he gets to his second life. And now that he's in his second life, I can go ahead and throw it. I almost risked him going stubborn there, which would have wasted this SP3. But fortunately, we did a shallow evade, and that pushed me to 2 bars of power. Then of course the specialist unblockable, and it's unblockable again, so we just cheesed the end of that fight. So that's an easy way to handle Nick Fury on the Mixmaster node 101 with Havoc. Those mutant boosts are pretty easy to come by. They rotate like once or twice a week in the loyalty store. So long as you manage your glory, you'll be able to just stock up on those and keep those full in your inventory, which I do. So this fight here, Medusa, I mean, she can still be difficult on the right node, but her role as a very tough war defender has kind of passed her by. There's a lot of counters to her nowadays, but like I say, if you bring the wrong counter, she can still be pretty challenging on certain nodes, like especially stun immune ones, and if you don't have a nullified champ. But other than that, like I said, it's a lot of stuff that can counter her now. She's still a good attacker for robots, so I have mine at rank 4. Haven't pulled the trigger on rank 5 in her yet. The next fight here, we have Guillotine 99. We're going to use Venom once again. He's a great option against her. I can just use him he's immune to power drain to tech opponents, so her SP1 is not going to drain any of my power. So that'll allow me to freely pull up my power meter. And I believe I was probably getting my oil change when this fight happened. That's why you saw that Wi-Fi update. But we're just buying some time. I tried to do a little cheese there to see if I could consume her armor up so I can gain some health, and I was able to do it there. And we're not intercepting. I mean, it's enough damage. These are rank 3 attackers, so there's don't really have to implement that. And I ended up wasting regeneration there because I still had the Spectre debuff on me, so it reversed my healing when I tried to heal off of that SP1. So the key to fighting Guillotine 99, if you knock her down, she'll have that timer that you can see there that's counting down. So that way you're guaranteed to freely attack her without her going invisible, because once it cools down, then any medium or light attack, she's subject to go invisible, and so that's the main difficulty about the fight. The SP1 can be tricky to evade if you're close and not prepared for it. But it's really the invisibility, and that can throw people off. But Human Torch is a great counter for her as well. I didn't use him for this fight because of the sadist node, so just didn't want to deal with that, and didn't want to waste his pre-fight either. Probably could have used his pre-fight for that fight in hindsight, but I just felt like using Venom this war. Now this fight, this is a good placement and decent placement. I mean, his specials are pretty easy to evade, but the concept of ebb and flow intercept is risky in this fight because of the fact that if you intercept Thor Ragnarok, you're subject to get auto block. So of course you'll get punished, and this Thor has suicide, so it will hurt even more. So all I'm doing here is just paying attention to his meter whenever my combo is at a certain stage. If it gets to 20, then he'll have indefinite. He'll gain 3 bars of power if you don't stop it, unless you throw a special. So I usually try to align my special attack hits to push him over that 20 threshold, so that way he'll just stop the power gain once my special is executed. And that's really the main thing to manage for that fight, other than not trying to intercept him. So I had one of my teammates take down Nova. Probably could have used Human Torch for pre-fight. Probably could have used Venom. But I think one of my teammates had Dr. Doom, so he was a much better matchup for Nova on that node. So this is all about trying to minimize deaths. So the next fight here, we have Thing. Now at this stage of the war, we were in pretty good shape. I mean, as a BG, we only had 2 deaths, and as an alliance, we had 29, but the opponent has already finished. And unfortunately, for some reason, I thought I recorded the last fight, but I didn't. As you can see there, just trying to get an idea how many overkills we had on defense. So really that attack bonus edge is not as big as it appears, because my Dr. Doom got 16 kills, but if any kills more than 3. So I was just doing math in my head to get an idea what our true margin of attack bonus is. So it's relatively even, so that's the reason why I decided to go ahead and boost for this fight. Now, I'm not sure what happened to the recorder for the boss fight, but you guys have seen my fights with Venom against Thing. This was a rank 3 Thing, but I believe no, he didn't have suicides, but it was rank 3 Thing. I'll give you a spoiler alert. I did not one-shot him. What happened was he took too much block damage. I can see some rank 3 attacker. So I guess so you have to keep that in mind. If you're facing a rank 3 Thing boss, you may have to use an alternative counter. So I've been using been using Venom against Thing bosses, but I guess if it's a rank 2 or if it's a maxed out 5-star thing, Venom is viable. But there were a couple other things in that fight that made me time out. I probably still could have one-shotted him with Venom. But the AI was very passive. Every time I got him to the 15 threshold, he went and throw the special, so I had to hit him to the block a lot, push him back, and also the way that my power meter was going, sometimes I had to end up throwing a lot of SP3s. I wanted to throw SP2s to take advantage of the stack furies. So the SP3s obviously couldn't do that, and that also wasted time for the SP3 animation. So I ended up timing out on the first attempt. Because like I said, I ran out of time, and what really I actually died. But what happened? I was trying to get desperate at the end. I think he had like 18% health, so I just tried to go balls to the wall aggressive at the very end. I tried to do like a light intercept, backdraft, and I got parried. And that was it. But here's the last recorded fight of the war. So that's usually why we're in the sport. And because I recorded, but it didn't. So this is the standard option that I use against Thing on the stun reflect. I'm used to this fight by now. It's kind of funny. I saw a Legacy video and they figured out that in their alliance they just decided to use Finger Torch. I guess they had been using Mega Red for this node, and I guess that's viable against certain opponents, like I guess MODOK and Killmonger. But like I said, we lost the war. Unfortunately, it was a very close war. We lost by 3 attack bonuses. I guess actually we lost by 1 attack bonus effectively because of our diversity edge. So in any one fight that went a different way, including my boss fight, we would have won.